I didn't have to work and I could just like create a ton of recipes and photograph them and then go for a bike ride, get in a pool, that would be great, and then like drink a smoothie and get a massage. That would be ideal. I decided it'd be kind of fun if I ate my pancakes with y'all and then answered some of your questions. I did like a question sticker thing on my Instagram and asked you guys to ask me some of your questions, so I'm gonna pick a few to answer. I also wanted to show you guys today how to make my perfect blender pancakes. They're literally so easy, foolproof, just perfection, and it only dirties one dish, so that's a win. So first, let's make those pancakes. All right, folks, here's how we make our blender pancakes. All you need to do is add 3/4 of a cup of nut milk. If you're making these gluten-free, you want to add 1 cup of old-fashioned oats. You can also use 3/4 of a cup of normal all-purpose flour. Then we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 whole banana, the browner the better because it brings out the natural sweetness. And then 1 to 2 tablespoons of peanut butter will go in the blender as well. The peanut butter kind of acts as a binding in this case. Then you just blend it all together. I put it on like the 3rd level out of 6, and you blend it until it's smooth and comes together. It took about a minute for mine. That's just the best sight. Then you just want to add coconut oil or butter to your pan on medium heat, and then you pour out your perfect circles. I always add chocolate chips to our pancakes. Then what you want to do is let them cook until the bubbles form, and when they pop, they don't refill themselves in. That's how you know it's cooked all the way through. Then you assemble your stack. And here's a little Instagram versus reality for you all. We're still on our first cup of coffee. I'm trying to recreate the pumpkin cream cold foam cold brew from Starbucks. It didn't work completely, but I will perfect it. That is my mission for this fall. So stay tuned for that coming. And also just look at that beautiful plate. I love pancakes. I don't know about you, but they're my favorite food. Also, there's just like so many different flavors you can do. I added chocolate on mine too. So good. So now on to the questions. Some of you just like trolling me. If you're my friends, you know who you are. So I'm not gonna answer those questions. But I guess we'll start with like an easier question. Your favorite recipe you've ever made? That's literally my perfect blender pancakes. I didn't plan this, but I'd say that's my favorite recipe because I actually like had to test it out multiple times to literally get it to be perfect and like work every time. And I made it with like gluten-free and normal flour options, and I just use it all the time. Like, it's my go-to pancake recipe, and as I've said before, I'm obsessed with pancakes. So that's definitely the favorite recipe I've ever made. Okay, a question for how's wedding planning going? Well, if you have been following me at all, you know I got engaged in 2019. Had to think about that for a second. Got engaged in 2019. We were supposed to get married this August, but hashtag pandemic. So that didn't happen. So we moved the wedding to next year. So instead of like planning the wedding and doing all that, we ended up buying a house, which honestly, thank goodness, because if you live in an apartment with your significant other and you're both working from home for a year, the space feels really small. So we bought a house I'm gonna do a house tour video, I think, like its own video once I finish decorating for fall. But yeah, wedding planning is going well. We pretty much are staying with all of our vendors that we had originally planned. None of them like charged us extra fees for moving it. They were super understanding. Yeah, so all we really have to do is like cake test, which I'm super excited for, and pick out our wedding bands. But besides that, everything is planned, and I cannot wait just to like look beautiful and marry the love of my life. Yeah. So how about a more in-depth question? How did you transition from eating like an athlete to being retired? So if you know me, you know I swam for the University of Minnesota, and I've been swimming since I was like 7 years old. So swimming was literally my life. And then once I was like 12 years old is when I decided I like wanted to be good and wanted to dedicate myself to the sport. So literally for like 10 years, I was sleeping so that I could swim well. I was eating so that I could swim well. I was making my daily life decisions based on the fact that I wanted to swim fast and be at my peak performance. So when swimming was done, it was just like a shock to the system. I was like, how much does like a normal person eat? And how much does a normal person sleep? And how much does a normal person exercise? It's just things like I literally never had to think about because I had been in elite sports since I was 7. So it was a struggle, and so I finished over 2 years ago, and I'd say it took until like just a year ago for me to figure out what was right for me in like sleep, workouts, eating, all that sort of stuff. It's kind of about finding what works for you. I know like for me personally, if I need like 3 full good balanced meals plus 1 to 2 snacks a day, just depending on my hunger levels. But I know like if I eat too small of a lunch, then I snack a ton in the afternoon, and then that's kind of like my body saying, hey, you didn't eat enough at lunch today. So then I know that I need to eat more at lunch. It's really about like listening to your body's cues. And I think something that's super important is that you're not gonna like look like how you looked when you were a D1 athlete. If you still look that way, that's like great for you. But for me to maintain what my body looked like back then, first of all, I wasn't healthy when I was in the NCAA. But second of all, like I trained 25 hours a week, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm okay if my body shape is a little different, because it means I get to eat pancakes and drink coffee for breakfast and focus on my work and focus on being a good friend and a good fiance and a good sister and a good daughter and all these things that are more important to me now than my sport. Obviously, I miss swimming a ton, and I had started water polo, but you can't play water polo during a pandemic. So like I still love the water, I love swimming, but I just have like different priorities now. So that's a long answer to that question. Here's another bite. Just like, look at the chocolate and berries. It's so good. But yeah, I guess those are the only questions I'm gonna answer, because the rest are like not story times. The rest, well, like favorite way to spend a free afternoon. I literally like create recipes every day. So I guess a free afternoon, if I didn't have to work. Okay, y'all, work has been so busy ever since the pandemic started because I'm in human resources. But if I didn't have to work and I could just like create a ton of recipes and photograph them and then go for a bike ride, get in a pool, that would be great, and then like drink a smoothie and get a massage, that would be ideal. But I can't do any of that right now. So yeah, I guess that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed the video of how to make my perfect blender pancakes. They're, like I said, my favorite recipe. ever. It's foolproof. Make sure to tag me if you try it. Make sure to subscribe, click the like button below, turn on those notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Maggie Bakes Grace for all the recipes. Thanks for tuning in and eating some pancakes with me. Have a good day.